Our first reading today is from Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 to 16. This version is from the Message translation. Jesus sent his 12 harvest hands out with this charge. Don't begin by traveling to some far-off place to convert unbelievers, and don't try to be dramatic by tackling the public enemy. Go to the lost, confused people right here in the neighborhood. Tell them that the kingdom is here. Bring health to the sick, raise the dead, touch the untouchables, kick out the demons. You have been treated generously, so live generously. Don't think you have to put on a fundraising campaign before you start. You don't need a lot of equipment. You are the equipment. And all you need to keep that going is 3 meals a day. Travel light. When you enter a town or village, don't insist on staying in a luxury inn. Get a modest place with some modest people and be content there until you leave. When you knock on a door, be courteous in your greeting. If they welcome you, be gentle in your conversation. If they don't welcome you, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way. You can be sure that on Judgment Day they'll be mighty sorry, but it's no concern of yours now. Stay alert. This is hazardous work I'm assigning you. You're going to be like sheep running through a wolf pack, so don't call attention to yourselves. Be as shrewd as a snake, inoffensive as a dove. And the second reading for today, another sacred text, is The Best Poem Ever by Brian Doyle. What if, says a small child to me this afternoon, we made a poem without using any words at all? Wouldn't that be cool? You could use long twigs and feathers or spider strands and arrange them so that people would imagine what words could be there. Wouldn't that be cool? So there's a different poem for each reader. That would be the best poem ever. The poem wouldn't be on the page, right? It would be in the air, sort of. It would be between the twigs and the person's eyes, or behind the person's eyes, after the person saw whatever poem he or she saw. Maybe there are a lot of poems that you can't write down. Couldn't that be? But they're still there, even if no one can write them down, right? Poems in books are only a little bit of all the poems there are. Those are only the poems someone found words for.
Good morning. Yay! Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Good morning, and a very warm welcome to Community Congregational Church of Tiburon. My name is Lisa. My pronouns are she, her. I am the co-moderator of this congregation, and I've just returned home from a pilgrimage to the Isle of Iona, a small island in Scotland. I lived and volunteered there from April 28th to July 28th, 3 months. Now I'm home and trying to share that expansive experience with all those in my world here. There's a lot to sift through, not to mention there was a lot of laundry to do. It's going to take me a long time for all this to sink in. Is it not right? To my mouth. Okay. I won't move. No. Okay. They said it could be this far. Anywho, here we go again. Wait, that wasn't the here we go yet. I could go on all morning, but I'm going to try and make it short and compact and give you the good stuff. So here we go. On the screen, you're seeing images of photos of my 3 months on Iona, from the sublime to the mundane. So where is Iona, and what was I doing there? Iona is a small island, often island, in the Inner Hebrides of Scotland. It is where St. Columba landed in 563 and established a monastery. It has been a continuously working abbey for well over 1,000 years. Today, it is home to the Iona community. Every week from March through November, the community welcomes paid guests. It is not to a retreat, but to live in community with the staff and volunteers. This means while guests do enjoy free time and sessions with leaders about weekly themes, they are also expected to help with all the things that keep a community running, like chopping vegetables for meals, cleaning bathrooms, folding laundry, reading at services, pulling weeds, and the many other things that need doing. The staff are the paid people who live on the island full-time and work for the Iona community. They are the ones who supervise the volunteers. The volunteers, or volleys as we are known, are on the island for anywhere from 1 week to 4 months. In exchange for our service, we are given room and board. Each volley is assigned full-time to one of several departments: housekeeping, working in the shop, helping in the sacristy, maintenance, or kitchen. I signed on to work in the kitchen. The Abbey serves a vegetarian fare, and 1 meal a week we are served meat that is locally sourced and sustainably produced. But there's always a vegetarian option. The guests help chop vegetables for half an hour a day, but I was there 8 hours a day, preparing meals and all that entails. So what exactly was that like? The kitchen itself was not very large, but the things in it were very large for this home cook. Getting used to the volume of what we did took a little time. One of the first things I made was orange cake. The first step of the recipe read, wash and zest 12 oranges. Oof, I was making 3 very large cakes to feed 70 people. It got to the point where separating 36 eggs for pavlova, or peeling 48 eggs for egg mayo, or hard-boiling 100 eggs for Sri Lanka stir-fry was a normal thing to do. It was also normal to make a gallon or 2 of hummus, or to grate 7 pounds of cheddar cheese, or to chop a couple dozen sweet potatoes. In fact, it made me feel a little badass that I was able to do these things. I knew what I was doing, and I didn't need a lot of instruction. Let's get on with it. We have 70 people to feed tonight. 4 deliveries came every week, 1 on Tuesdays and 4 on Fridays. Picture, if you can, 15 dozen eggs, or a dozen boxes of button mushrooms, or how about bags of carrots weighing 10 kilograms each, huge sacks of porridge oats, sugar, chickpeas, and lentils, and all of it had to be hauled in, sent up the dumbwaiter, organized, and put into the walk-in fridge. Then, over the course of the week, all of it had to be chopped, sautéed, mixed, and made into meals. Then we would start over and over and over again. This cooking created a mountain of dishes to clean. When we weren't measuring, mixing, or baking, we were washing, scrubbing, and putting things away, usually so that we could just pull things out again and do it all over. Again, I felt confident. I knew where things were stored, how to take care of the tools, and what was needed. Yes, I'll go outside and dump the compost. Sure, I'll take the bread up to the shop. Yes, I can make the porridge for tomorrow. I didn't know all this overnight, or even in 1 week. But over time, I was shown how to do it by other volunteers ahead of me and people in the community. Our leader was Anya, who runs the kitchen and has been doing so for over she's 52, over 20 years. She's been there since she was a teenager. She has a great style, very easygoing, even though she expects high quality. And of course I made mistakes. Anya was able to fix them somehow. Nothing was hidden from her because there was no reprimand. No one was afraid to say they'd made a mistake because we all claimed clean so the food could get out. When something did go wrong, or it was not going to be as delicious as Anya thought it should be, she let it go. The cake would just not be as fluffy, or the meat was not browned properly. We all learned to do it right the next time. No shame, no blame, a very friendly place to work. Standards were high, but help was always available. Cooking is a lot of work, but doing it with the crew you enjoy makes it all easier. We teased each other a lot and laughed. Kitchen was not an island unto itself. Housekeeping helped us with the meals getting out. They were the ones who set the table, who made sure the serving spoons were out and the condiments were available. They also chaired the meeting by reading the guests the menu, saying grace, and making announcements after the meal, also clearing up and washing up, while we in the kitchen were putting away all the leftovers and washing the big pots and pans. It was actually kind of fun. We'd blast show tunes or music of choice, all the work would get done with an air of camaraderie. Community really is a good way to live. Kitchen work was very physical. I thought I was prepared, and I was, sort of. However, in my first week, I fell and twisted my right ankle. It was very painful. I iced it and still reported for work the next day. It took weeks before it was not stiff every morning, and just as my right ankle healed, my left ankle developed a very painful sensation. I had been standing on hard surfaces for so long and walking so much that I developed plantar fasciitis. It made life rather miserable, but it wasn't enough to stop me from working. What it did was curtail my wanderings. No longer could I walk to the end of the island and watch the sunset. No longer could I join a friend when they took off to go to the marble quarry. And I had to say no to dancing at the ceilidh. It was very disappointing. I worried that I might have caused permanent damage. Now that I'm home and the average day of walking is no longer 20,000 steps, I feel that my feet are healing. All is well. Working in the kitchen was my job, but there were many other hours in the week and lots of other good things to discover and enjoy on Iona. One of the first joys I found was massage. Even on an island, off an island, off an island, there was a place to get a massage. In Balance, Iona. One of the volunteers was singing the praises of Sandra, the masseuse, and they said, "Volleys get a discount." Yes, please, sign me up. I decided to check it out. My aching back thanked me so much I ended up having a weekly massage. It was a necessity. And what a different experience it was going to a spa than here in the States. It was a small room, one very capable woman, and one restored body. Sandra and I hit it off, and we even went out for tea one afternoon. That would never happen here. I was seeing that community extended to all parts of the island. Sandra, the masseuse, knew me. So did Hillary, the lady at the post office, Joyce, the woman at the craft store, and the people at the front gate of the Abbey, and the people at the St. Columba Hotel. The list went on. In a place so small, if you let yourself, you can become a part of the fabric, and I dove in completely. I am usually not good with names, but I remembered them all with ease. I think it was the spirit-led thing. Calling someone by their name is very important. It's why we wear name tags, and I am remiss today. But I knew the people that I worked with and the people on the island where I lived. I even remembered the weekly choppers and guests who visited the island. It was a surprise to me, and it felt really good. Another surprise was the volunteers who were encouraged to run services. One of the rhythms of Abbey life that I came to love was twice daily worship, at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., every day except Fridays. With so many services to produce, they needed volunteers to step up and lead things. The morning services were completely scripted, and you only had to write 2 short prayers, and even that was optional, as there were many pre-written prayers to choose from. The evening services, however, were left for the leader to create. You had to design the service, from picking the music and the readings to writing a reflection on a given topic. There was a lot of leeway to be creative. Sometimes it reminded me of CCC, with music that was modern and readings that were poems and excerpts from articles. Of course, there was a regular schedule of services in the Abbey. Mondays were always peace and justice services. Tuesdays were prayer and healing time. Wednesdays were for creation, and Thursdays were commitment services. I heard a lot of reflections of big problems we're facing: genocide in Gaza, climate disasters all over the world, immigration issues, ecology needs, human rights offensives. These were the concerns of the Iona community. I wasn't sure I had a place in all this. However, I found every voice is needed. I offered my small take on these big things, and my voice was welcomed, even appreciated. Every point of view is listened to and considered. These services were a highlight of my time on Iona. Twice daily worship gave me so much. Sometimes I was enthralled by the music and the acoustics of the Abbey. Sometimes I was convicted by the messages I heard and needed to change my ways. Other times I jotted down insights I wanted to ponder further. Sometimes it was just nice to sit in the middle of my shift during the kitchen. Often at service, I was reminded to see each person in my day and life as a child of God, doing their best to love the world as I was. A reminder I still try to use daily. The services always gave me something of a holy break in the day. Worship and kitchen were the biggest parts of my time on Iona, yet the island gave me more. I took time to have sticky buns at the Rookery Cafe. I went off-island overnight to Tobermory. I hiked out to St. Columba's Bay twice and brought home my share of stones. I sang a cappella every Tuesday afternoon in St. Warren's Chapel with Kellyanne and Jerry. I sat on benches and watched the water. I laughed at the lambs having evening zoomies. I bought cards and more cards and mailed them home to my family. I indulged in 2 extravagant sweater purchases. I took many different photos of patterns and places. I wanted to remember these for my artwork. I drew in the Abbey Library. I thought about the monks who had created the Book of Kells on that very island. I went to the pub on Thursday evenings after service and before last call at 11. There, the volleys all played card games and word games and silly games, and while they drank beer, I sipped non-alcoholic pear cider. I made deep friendships with people I will stay connected to. My 3 months on Iona were full and complete, yet I was ready to come home and to rest. Living in community on Iona gave me time to think of communities I am a part of here at home and how community means working together. CCC is my spiritual home, and I love this place. It's why I serve as co-moderator, even though there are times when it's hard to deal with all the details of keeping a community running and healthy. The benefits do outweigh the difficulties. I get excited when I think about the directions we could head. We might not see a clear path at the moment, but I hope we are working toward being a place that truly reflects the radical welcome and inclusive hospitality I think God wants us to offer. I also think we are working our way through the grief of change. We are aging and we are tired, and it's hard to think that there's more work to do. We don't have to be sad about all this. We can love each other and our wider community, even as we grapple with the changes here in our CCC community. It's hard to get a whole group of people moving in the same direction. We aren't even agreed on the direction we'd like to go. I learned from my time on Iona that change is a constant thing. CCC is changing and growing in both small and big ways. And it is my sincere hope that we will pull together in a direction of our choosing and that we'll love the journey, not just the destination. We are really good at being community, and we have been for decades. May we model the future rather than lament our past. May we find our way forward with love and generosity for each other and for the place that we've been planted. Thanks.
You're not alone, together we stand. I'll be by your side, you know I'll take your hand. When it gets cold and it feels like the end, there's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Just stay strong, 'cause you know I'm here for you, I'm here for you. There's nothing you could say, there's nothing you could do. There's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. So far away, I wish you were here. Before it's too late, this could all disappear. Before the doors close and it comes to an end, with you by my side, I will fight and defend. I'll fight and defend. Yeah, yeah, keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Just stay strong, 'cause you know I'm here for you, I'm here for you. There's nothing you could say, nothing you could do. There's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Hear me when I say I believe. Nothing's gonna change destiny. Whatever's meant to be, it will work out perfectly. Yeah, 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 yeah. La da da da, la da da da, la da 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 da. Keep holding on, 'cause we're gonna make it through, we'll make it through. Just stay strong, 'cause you know I'm here for you, I'm here for you. There's nothing you could say, nothing you could do. There's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it through. Keep holding on. Keep holding on. There's nothing you could say, nothing you could do. There's no other way when it comes to the truth. So keep